Good day, everyone. My name is Goddan, and welcome to Goddan School of Mathematics. In case you have any mathematics question and you need answer, you can join our mathematics community for free, where you can ask any mathematics question and get answers. To join, send a direct message to our WhatsApp on this number 09015374417, and we will add you to the WhatsApp community. So in today's class, we'll be looking at laws of indices. In our last class, we looked at the definition of indices, saying indices is the plural form for index. And then I said that you can't perform any operation, mathematical operation, in indices if you don't understand the laws of indices. So the first law of indices that we'll be looking at is the multiplication law of indices. Multiplication law of indices. The multiplication law of indices states that given two or more equal bases, right? So if I have two bases, say x, then multiplying another base that is the same, which is x, right? Both having their individual index, right? Which now makes it an indices. The result is the one of the bases and the addition of their indices. Multiplication law of indices states if I have two or more equal bases with their various index, right? The result is one of the bases, which is x, then the addition of their indices. Now take note, for you to apply the multiplication law of indices, their bases must be the same. So for example, if I have 3 raised to power 5 times 3 raised to power 2, now as long as their bases are the same, what do? You pick one of the bases and then we add their indices, which then gives us 3 raised to power 7. Now, the second law of indices is the division law of indices. The division law of indices is a similitude of the multiplication law of indices. They must also be the same bases dividing themselves. So I have a base dividing that exact base, both of them having their various index, right? So the result is one of the bases, and then you subtract their indices. So for multiplication, you pick one of the bases and add their indices, while for division, you pick one of the bases and subtract their indices. So for example, if I have 2 raised to power 9 divided by 2 raised to power 6, as long as their bases are the same, the result is 2, and then we have 9 minus 6, which gives us 2 raised to power 3, right? Of course, 2 raised to power 3 is 8. It's easy. Since the index is not big, we can also find the result, which is equal 8. Remember, we said the index tells us how many times the base will multiply itself, which means 2 raised to power 3 means 2 is multiplying itself 3 times. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, the third law of indices is the zero index law. Now, it is zero index because the index is 0. So it states that given any base, say a for example, that is raised to the power 0, so that is raised to 0 to the index 0, the result always is the unity, which is 1. So if I have any base raised to power 0, the result is 1. Example, if I have 8 raised to power 0, the result is equal 1. If I have 6 raised to power 3 divided by 6 raised to power 3, remember, since their bases are the same, I pick one of the bases and then I subtract their indices. This gives me 6 raised to power 0. And once we have any base raised to power 0 or the index 0, the result is 1. Now, the fourth law of indices is the negative index law. Negative index law of indices. Negative index law of indices. Negative index because the index is negative. It's a negative number. The negative index law says if you have any base raised to a negative index, say x, for example, the result is the negative becomes the reciprocal of that base and the index without the negative now symbol. That is the reciprocal 1 over the base a and the positive index. So this negative is what changed to 1 over, which is the reciprocal of the base and its positive index. So for example, if I have 5 raised to power minus 2, the result is equal. This negative symbol becomes the reciprocal of 5 raised to power 2, which is equal 1 over 25. It's the same thing as saying if I have 25 raised to power minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over 25 raised to power 1 is the same thing as 25. Right? So if I have a raised to power minus 1, for example, it's equal to 1 over a because a raised to power 1 is the same thing as a. So if I have any base raised to the negative index, the result is the reciprocal of that base and its positive index. Another example, I have 8 raised to power 2 times 8 raised to power minus 5. Now, the bases are the same. The result will be me picking one of the bases and then I sum up their indices. So the index for the first 8 is 2 plus the index for the second 8 is minus 5. Now that will give me 8 raised to power 2 plus times minus is minus, which is minus 5. And that gives me 8 raised to power minus 3. Now, I can't leave my result like this because the negative index law can sort it out. This negative becomes the reciprocal 1 over 8 raised to power 3. And this will be our result. Number 5 is the double index law of indices. Double index law of indices. Just like the name implies, double index. It means you have an index and another index. So what does that mean? State. It says given a base, say A for example, that is raised to an index, say M, which is now raised to another index, say N, the result is equal the base and the multiplication of both indices, which is equal A raised to power M N. So if I have 3 raised to power 2 and then raised to another index 3, the result is equal 3 raised to power 2 times 3, which is equal 3 raised to power 6. Now, the last law of indices is the fractional index law of indices. The fractional index. Now, Fractional index, like the name implies, means that the index is a fraction. So it says if I have a base, say A, for example, that is raised to an index to a fractional index m over n. Of course, recall that a fraction is a number that can be written in form of a numerator and a denominator. So we have a base that is raised to the fraction m over n. The result is the nth root of the base raised to the power of m. That is the root, the denominator roots. The denominator becomes the root. The numerator becomes the index. So, for example, I have 8 raised to the power 2 over 3. It means that I find the cube root of 8 because the denominator is 3. Now, raised to the power of the numerator, which is 2. Now, the cube root of 8 is 2. Raised to power 2, that is 4. If I have, for example, 8 raised to power minus 2 over 3, this is negative fractional index. I mean, it's still almost the same thing. What do? It means that first, this negative, obeying fraction negative index law of indices, becomes the reciprocal of 1 over 8 raised to power 2 over 3. So at the denominator, we can now have 1 over, obeying fractional law of indices, we have the cube root of 8 raised to the power of the numerator, which is 2, and that gives us 1 over, the cube root of 8 is 2 raised to power 2, which gives us 1 over 4. Now, if I have a raised to power 1 over n, it's equal to the nth root of a. That's because if I raise it to power 1, it will still give me n root a. Now, to solve any form of question on indices, all you just need to do is to be able to apply these laws of indices properly, and you'll be able to solve any question on indices. In our next class, we'll be solving examples using these laws of indices, and we'll be able to lay our hands on 1 or 2, 3, 4 examples. Till then, please do well to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can as well follow us across our social media pages at Goddan School of Mathematics. Till I come your way in the next class, bye for now.